John Oakes here from HANKSTERS Hot Rods, again coming to you here with a new addition to our inventory. This is something that's a little bit out of the ordinary for us, not unheard of though for us to get one of these, just a little out of the ordinary. This is a 1940 Chevy street rod here. Now once we get to the outside you'll see a lot here, but the outside is an all steel body. We do have fiberglass fenders front and rear, and then the running boards also are fiberglass, but they are steel reinforced, steel plating the whole way underneath them, so they're still safe to go ahead and step on if you need to get into the car there. But underneath here, again, we're going to go through this entire underside of this car. There's an awful lot to go through underneath here, so we'll do this as in timely a manner as what we can here. So starting at the back end of this car, first of all, you're going to notice these big massive tires here. But back here at the fuel tank here, or fuel cell in this case, we do have a fabricated fuel cell here. It is a bottom sump. They've got the fuel lines run out of the bottom here. It's built to run off of a mechanical fuel pump, which that is what's on this car. It's got an inline fuel filter also located right here at the back of the car. They've got it all plumbed up nice with big fuel line, big heavy duty fuel line there too. So again, no issue of starving it for fuel whatsoever. Something else you're gonna see back here mounted. They've got a trans cooler back here, and they have an electric spall fan also back here to help cool that fluid as it circulates back here through the cooler and then back up to the transmission again. And again, probably the reason for mounting it back here, just a good spot. They had lots of material to mount it to back here, and a little bit of an open area also to get that airflow to it. Now, back here, as far as your, running gear, tires, wheels, rear end, all that stuff back here. Again, these big, massive tires here. These are Hoosier Pro Street radials. They're 29 18.5 R15 LT tires. Again, these are radial tires, so you can run them on the street. They are Hoosiers, and when we get to the front, you'll see it's got a set of Hoosier tires up front too, so they kept all the name brand on the tires all the same, even with them going pro streeted back here like they did. Now, as far as the frame goes back here, yes, they did have to make some alterations to it. So again, when you pro street a car, you actually cut the frame rails, move them in on the rear of the car. That was done, and done very well on this particular car. As far as the suspension goes, they chose to go with a triangulated 4-bar rear suspension. So in that case, you've got the bars running, the lower bars running from outside to inside coming towards the rear. Then you have the top bars doing the same thing, just at a different angle to help locate that rear end and keep it centered up. Now they did go with a 9-inch Ford rear end. A lot of the street rod guys did this route. The 9-inch Ford, very versatile rear end there. You can swap out the front pumpkin if you need to change gears or anything pretty easily on one of these rears. As far as shocks go, they've upgraded. They've gone to some QA1 rear shocks on this, and they are a single adjustable shock. So you've got your adjuster right down here. You can go ahead and tune those shocks for you a little bit better if you need to. And for braking power, they have just a set of drum brakes on the rear. Again, not unusual to have drums back here. When we get to the front, you'll see that they did upgrade those to the disc brakes there. Other things that we can see real quick on the back, as far as the drive shaft, we've got a drive shaft loop back here, or a cross member that they put in here. Again, if anything were to happen from, torque from the motor or anything that would drop that drive shaft per se, it's not going to drop down to the ground and cause any damage that way. It's just going to come down and rest on this cross member. So again, a nice safety feature there. And also to help out with that rear suspension, they have airbagged the suspension back here on both the rear of the car and on the front of the car as well. And we'll see that when we move up there. All right, here we are now. We're underneath the center of our 1940 Chevy street rod here. So again, a lot of things we can take a look at under here. So let's just kind of start here at the closer side of the car. That way you can really see what we've got here. Again, this chassis, okay, it is just a stock, 1940 Chevy street rod chassis. Now they've got fiberglass running boards on it, but as I mentioned earlier, these are steel reinforced. So what you see underneath here on these floorboards is steel plating the whole length of that running board, and even where they're mounted, bolted to the body, bolted to the fenders, it's all steel. Again, you've got steel outriggers here too that they bolt to, but again, all steel plating there. So again, a good, strong running board that you could step on if you want, but a lot of guys don't even use the running boards. They just don't want to scuff up any paint, unless of course you put like a rubber piece on top of that running board there. As far as like the frame goes, like I said, there's nothing wrong with the frame whatsoever. Good straight rails, good nice and square rails. Now you can see they've done some custom work. I'm not sure if you can see along or around the lift here, but they've done some custom work to the frame rails themselves when it comes to the exhaust. To get it to exit out as close to the floor as what they possibly can. They've gone and C-notched the frame so that they could fit the exhaust pipe right up inside of that frame rail and then exit it out right out here under your running board. And again, they've notched the running board out too on the side to get it tucked up in even more. So they've done a nice job there. They've got heat shields anywhere that it needs to be. They got metal heat shields in here right above the mufflers, and then heat shields back here where it splits for your exhaust cutout and your mufflers here. So again, they've took just about every precaution to protect against heat or higher temperatures on this car from the exhaust system. Now the floors themselves are in excellent shape. They're good stock stamped steel floor pans on this car. There's no issues to speak of there. There's no patching that I see. There's no holes, obviously. Again, these cars like this, you don't typically have problems like that because you don't run them in bad weather. You don't ever get them in salt and so forth. So again, you don't have the rot and stuff that some other cars may have on them. So again, floors are excellent. Heat shields in place everywhere they need to be. As far as the transmission goes, tubular cross member right here for the tail shaft of the transmission. The urethane mount back here, that's in good condition. That's probably all new stuff. All the mounting hardware, that's all new too. This is a 700R4 automatic overdrive transmission. It looks like from underneath here, looks like we've got probably a digital speedometer in the car, because I do see the hookup for that. Again, these nice polished Bullet Pro Turbo mufflers on both sides, and then just ahead of those, they've done some real nice exhaust work here. They've got a set of electric exhaust cutouts on here, but they've got it wide off here so that it also dumps through the exhaust, through the mufflers, and then again, out the sides there through that C-notched frame that they put in here. So again, I've mentioned with the rear suspension, we've got the triangulated 4-link rear suspension. So again, you see that right here, the bottom bars of it anyways. You see that they're all mounted up, welded in brackets on those, very nicely done, welded to the frame here that they've got in there. So again, they've done an excellent job on the underside of this car. And as I always mention too, as far as the transmission goes, again, we've got that dust cover on that flywheel. So it's a plastic cover, but it does help keep dirt and debris away from that flywheel, so you don't just accidentally chip a tooth or something on the flywheel and cause any malfunction there. All right, and finally now we're here underneath the front end of our 1940 Chevy street rod here. So again, we'll go over the front suspension, steering and so forth like that, and then we'll be ready to go ahead and pull her down off the rack for you. So again, going from side to side like we always do, as far as our running gear up front here, for tires, again, I mentioned it's got Hoosier tires the whole way around it. Obviously the back ones are the big Pro Street tires. The front ones are your normal street radial tires. So again, Hoosier radial GTs. These are 205/70 R14s. So they went with 14-inch wheels up front. Now all four of the wheels, again, all the same. It would look a little weird if they weren't, But 14s up front, 15s in the back. They're all Krager SS mags, and those are the chrome steel wheels. So of course the back ones, they probably had those special made from Krager so that they fit those big tires back there. As far as the front suspension on this car, we have an independent front suspension kit on it here. We've got tubular lower control arms, tubular upper A-arms on this car. We've got rack and pinion steering on it. Now that is manual, I believe, but again, rack and pinion on a car like this works really good. Again, when you're driving it, you usually don't even hardly notice the difference from power to manual. So again, rack and pinion steering, all tubular suspension arms up front. We've got QA1 double adjustable shocks on the front of this, so you can adjust both the rebound and the compression on these front shocks here. We've got nice cross member up here welded in on this frame. Again, nice sturdy construction. All the welds look to be great on this car, so whoever did this did a really nice job. As far as engine goes, this is a big block Chevy motor that's made it up to that 700 R4 automatic overdrive transmission. They also have the front, just like they do the rear, they have the front airbagged as well. So again, airbag assisted, both front and rear suspension here. And again, that's real nice because you can set your ride heights on the car with those airbags. So you can raise, lower it, put a little bit of rake in it. Whatever kind of attitude you want the car to have, you can dial that in with those airbags. So real nice feature on this car. Other things that I can see from just standing underneath here, we've got a Griffin aluminum radiator. Looks like it's got an electric cooling fan on it. Looks like we've got aluminum pulleys up there too. Some Cool Flex radiator hoses up there as well. The ceramic coated shorty headers on this car, and then they finished off there with that custom exhaust that they put on it. And then the frame rails, again, the whole way from front all the way to back are in excellent condition on this car. Nice and straight. You can look at them on the bottoms. They've got them plated the whole way back to give it extra strength. So again, they've done an excellent job on this car. So now it's time to go ahead. We'll lower this down, and then we can show you the outside of the car, take you inside, and then underneath the hood as well. All right, here we go. We got our 1940 Chevrolet Coupe street rod here. Down off of the lift now here. We're going to go around the outside of it and show you what we can about this nice car here. Again, it's a 1940. This whole body on this car, with a few tiny exceptions, the whole body is all steel. So you got steel hood, steel doors, steel cab, steel trunk lid. The only parts of this car that are not steel would be the front and rear fenders and the running boards. Those are all fiberglass components. However, the running boards, as we did show you in the underside video, they are steel reinforced. Again, if you wanted to step on those, they're plenty strong enough that you could. But again, you'll notice that they are painted. So a lot of times people will not do that. They just kind of crawl over those or hop over them so that they don't come in contact with those. They want to keep them nice looking. Now they do make nice little rubber mats that you can put on those that install on there nicely. But again, sometimes they take away from the look of the car there if you want to keep it looking clean and have those painted running boards on there. So again, all steel, fiberglass fenders, fiberglass running boards. So back here, we have a mirror just on the driver's side. Now as far as fitment, panel-wise, you can see the gaps here. The nice gaps on the hood itself, the hood top and the hood sides. The door itself, very nice tight gaps on the front side. Even gap along the top here. And again, the elevation across here is really nice from the roof to that door transition. Very nice there. And again, the gap down along the back side of the door too. Very nicely done. Now, when they fitted up the fenders and running boards, they use this rubber welting that goes in between, and that's just used as protection between the two panels so you don't get a lot of rubbing back and forth between the two. But you'll notice that that's all the way around the fenders and all the way around all the running boards too. So again, protects everything from rubbing against either one another, and it's a nice little trim feature on the car too to help separate those two colors. Now, as we did on the underside video, we showed you how that exhaust was routed through the frame rail itself and then through the running board. So here you can just see it a little better. Side exit exhaust, they've got that running board milled out just enough to fit that end of that exhaust tube there, right through there, fitted nice and tight. So again, they paid good attention to detail there, so that's really nicely done. Now again, there's some trim here, some rubber molding here in the glass to help seal it up from the elements. So again, that's nicely done. All the glass is new in this car. The windshield is new. Again, there's no chips, no cracks. All of this stuff has to be new whenever they build these cars. All of the black weather stripping and seals around the windshield, around the side glass, and around these little quarter windows, all in excellent shape. Now, one other thing with this car, so we can do this just the way we do all of our other cars, we always open up the doors for you. You'll notice this car has shaved door handles. So how do you do that? You've got power door actuators on this car. So with the key fob in hand, you just hit the door unlock button and the door pops open for you. So let's go ahead and take a look real quick here. A little bit of the interior. Again, weather stripping around the door, all new. No rips, cracks, tears, chunks out of it whatsoever. So again, it should seal up nicely. You've got the door garnish moldings here for your window frames. The interior itself has been done. It's all custom, obviously. Custom door panels. Those are two-toned, black and red in here. Kind of like a velour almost material in here. So again, really nice. They've got really nice little door handles up here too. Bench seat, it's a split bench with armrests in the center. Front seat belts. Again, the whole interior is pretty much all new. Now again, even the dash in this car is steel, but they've got it painted silver again to bring some of that exterior coloring to the inside of the car. So again, we'll go through the inside once we get there a little bit better, but I just wanted to show you the feature there with the power door actuators. Again, power windows too. So no manual window cranks, you just hit the button in the inside and you've got your windows up and down. Now, as we mentioned on our underside video too with this car, this is Pro Streaming. Now you'll see how big this rear tire is and how nice it fits up inside this fender here. Now, there's only one downfall to that, and that is if you ever have to take this tire off of this car for any reason, you pretty much have to have a lift to get that rear end to drop down enough so that you can pull that tire out. But again, you're really not going to have that many opportunities to where you're going to need to take this tire off of this car. So again, fenders are nice, the paint's nice smooth shiny red and silver paint. Looks like it's been block and polished very nicely on this car. Fitment again on all the fenders is good with that black welting around all of the fender panels and the running boards. So again, everything's nice on this car that we've seen thus far. Alright, here we are now. A little bit different position than what you're used to seeing me in here, but again, on this particular car, you don't have a real high lifting trunk lid, and it's a little different. You got to push the button on the interior of the car to actually pop the trunk, and then you got to raise it up. So we're starting with the trunk open at this particular time. As you can see on the inside of our trunk, all carpeted up here. You can see how nice of a job they did with those wheel tubs also, and they've got those carpeted as well. You even have the provision in here cut out so you can get to the lid on your fuel cell. So again, all of that, all easy access back here. Now it does have your hydraulic strut there for your trunk lid, but again, this is all steel, so it's a heavy trunk lid. So you want to use this, it's kind of just a little support rod here for it that's installed permanently. It just kind of locks in place. Just have to lift up on the trunk lid and then swing the lock around on it for it to go down all the way. But again, everything's nicely done here, all steel, all metal. All of your trunk seals also, those are new in excellent shape. Again, there's no rips, cracks, tears, chunks out of them whatsoever. So again, this will all seal up real nice for you. even if you do have to have it out in the rain or weather for any amount of time whatsoever there. So we'll go ahead and close this, that way I can show you how well everything fits up back here too. So again, you just have to raise up a little bit, swivel that around, and then it'll lower right down, closes up nice and easy for you. Since we have it closed, now you can see your gaps the whole way around the trunk. Very nice and tight gaps. Elevations are dead on this car, from your fenders all the way up to your trunk lid here. Again, very even up here the whole way around. Rear glass, all new. The rear glass as well as your side glass is going to be tinted. Again, the black molding around there to seal everything up, that's all in excellent shape too. Taillight lenses, they've got these bullet style taillight lens covers here. Again, those are in excellent shape too. There's no cracks, no chips in any of that stuff there whatsoever. Got the rear bumper on the car. You've got one just like it out in front of the car too. Sometimes you'll see these cars with no bumpers, but they went ahead and went the extra route, put them on there. Nice little safety feature too. It'll help protect that, you know, the front and rear of the car there a little bit for you. So, all right, so now on the passenger side of this vehicle, again, everything's the same as what we just went over on the driver's side. One exception though, we just don't have the mirror over on the passenger side of the car on this particular one. But again, as I said, all steel cab, fiberglass front and rear fenders, fiberglass running boards, got the steel reinforcing on those running boards. You can see again, this side's done just the same as the other side with the exhaust cutouts down there, so they have it tucked up in as tight as what they can to the underside of the car. Again, tinted glass on the side as well as what the rear is there too. All your seals around the window are in excellent shape. Again, it's all new stuff there. Again, power door actuators. Because of the shaved door handles, it just operates off of a different button off of your key fob. So we open that up again, take a quick peek inside. Weather stripping again, just like it was on the other side. All new, no rips, cracks, chunks, tears, anything like that. Your window garnish moldings in here, those are done in black and those are in excellent shape. The door handles up top here, those are aluminum door handles. Again, the two-tone door panels, black and red, and of course you got your everything else in here is all black. And your bench, split bench seat, your carpeting, and then of course the silver all steel dash that's in the car too. Now there is a little bit of a custom stereo system in here, but again, that stuff we'll take a look at once we go inside. So we'll close that up. Again, it closes nice and tight and easy. Again, your elevations the whole way around this door. Top, bottom, sides, excellent on this car. Your gaps, you can see how nice and tight those are the whole entire way around that door. So they've done a good job at fitting the panels on this car. Again, we've already said about the steel hood, the hood sides themselves, everything's fitted up nice, gaps are nice, and like we said with the other side, your fenders, your running boards, the whole way back, has that black rubber welting that goes in between, help protect them from rubbing against panels on one another there. So again, nice little step that they took when building this car. Seal around the windshield in excellent shape. Again, we've already mentioned there's no cracks or chips in any of the glass. All pretty much new stuff on this car. And then we've got, as far as our wheels and tires on this car goes, I did mention on the underside video, but I did fail to mention going around the driver's side. We've got the Krager SS mag wheels here. These are chrome steel wheels, but the chrome is in excellent condition on all four of these wheels. I don't think you're going to see any pitting whatsoever on these. Polished up really nice. Hoosier tires on all four corners. You've got Hoosier radial GTs up front, and these are 205/70 R14s on the front. And then of course, being Pro Streeted on the back, kind of hard to find a tire that fits back there, but they've got a Hoosier Pro Street radial tire on the back, and that's a 29/18/5 R15 LT. So again, those are your sizes on the tires, and again, all Hoosier name brand tires. And as I said, the fiberglass front and rear fenders, running boards here, and then of course your headlight housings here on both top fenders here. So, all right, now we finally made it the whole way around our car. We're here at the front. Now this car here, again, just kind of like the trunk lid, you have to actually pop the hood from inside the car. So we've gone ahead and done that. We've got the hood open. We will shut it, you know, to show you how well the hood fits. But I wanted to go through everything here that's under the hood first before we do that. So of course, as far as the power plant in this car, we've got Chevrolet power, big block power. So a 454 cubic inch, big block Chevy engine in here. From top to bottom, we've got a K&N air filter, one of those reusable air filter elements in there, sitting on top of an Edelbrock single feed 4-barrel carburetor that does have the electric choke module on the side of it, and it is hooked up. You got an aluminum intake on top of that motor. We've got chrome valve covers on it too, and then you can see here it's got the Coolflex radiator hoses on it, both top side and on the bottom side. So that's a bit out of the norm. A lot of times you'll get top ones on it, but they'll elect to go just with the rubber hose on the bottom. This has Coolflex top and bottom. As far as other components on this motor that I can see, we've got a polished aluminum water pump on it, aluminum pulleys, and then we have a vintage air heat and AC unit on this car, and it has the polished compressor on it. So again, they've got, you know, things shined up a little bit on the motor here that we can see. It's got a Griffin aluminum radiator, and it's a stock appearing radiator, but aluminum. Okay, so they kept that same shape here. Just ahead of the radiator, this is the condenser for the AC unit here. And then this car is power brakes, and then it's manual rack and pinion steering. Now we do have upgraded ignition system on this car. It's an HEI distributor on here, and they've got a set of Moroso 8.65 millimeter plug wires on there to help deliver the spark to that motor. And then from the underside, we may have mentioned it's got the ceramic coated shorty headers with that custom exhaust that they've got on there too. Again, they did a really nice job with the exhaust and the whole underside with this car. Again, steel hood, we'll lower that here in just a minute. Your headlight housings here, those are in excellent shape. The bezels around here, the bright work on them, those are in excellent shape too. You've got a set of tri-bar headlights here. These are HID headlights with the turn signals right inside of those headlights. So again, the street rod guys out there, they like these lights because you don't have to run extra turn signals or anything. They're built right into the headlights. So again, everything's nice here. The red painted grille here, a little bit of bright work trim around the grille there. Again, I mentioned it's got the bumpers front and rear as well. So that's basically it for under the hood. Let's go ahead, lower this down now. See if I can figure out how to do this. There we go. And then we'll shut this. There we go, we're closed. So again, hood fitment is excellent on this car. It's a steel hood again. So again, the paint, finish, everything like that, very nice. You got the black accents here for like your grill area on the hood, back the sides on both sides. The paint is in excellent shape on those. All of the trim work around those in excellent shape too. So again, I don't think you're gonna have any disappointments with this car whatsoever for what it is. 1940 Chevy Coupe street rod that's pro streeted, and again they did a real nice job with it. So with that said, we're all done on the outside of the car. All right, here we are now sitting in the comfort of our 1940 Chevy street rod here. So again, now is the time we take an in-depth look at the interior. As you can see, the door panels that I mentioned, kind of like a velour type material there, but you can see they two-toned it black with a little bit of red to carry that to the inside of the car. Again, the window garnish moldings, very nicely done, all painted black on both sides of the car here. That dash I mentioned, painted silver, and it is a steel dash in the car. Now for your gauge pod that they have in here, these are all new Stewart Warner gauges. They're kind of like a classic looking gauge. You've got gauges that amount from the voltmeter, water temperature gauge, you have a tach, you have a 160 mile an hour speedometer, you've got the oil pressure gauge, and then your fuel gauge also. Again, those are all newer gauges too. Now for your steering up here, we've got a Grant steering wheel, and that's attached to, I'm not quite sure, there's a couple different companies out here that make these columns. I Did It is one, Flaming River's another one. I think Billet Specialties does one too, but this is a steel column. It's chromed, obviously. It's a tilt wheel. You've got a polished aluminum drop bracket that mounts up underneath the dash there, with your mount that goes through the floor there also, keeping everything nice and tight in this car. Now as far as other stuff on the dash, we've got the vintage air, heat and AC controls up here. So it's just a nice little unit up here, oval shape, kind of keep with the same theme as, you know, your gauge pod is kind of oval shape there too. They did upgrade the radio system in the car. We've got a Panasonic AM/FM CD player in here. We've got some speakers in the back, and I believe they're the Infinity name brand subwoofers in the back. Got some speakers down here in the kick panels as well. So you should have some pretty good you know, sound in here for your tunes whenever you're cruising around in this car. Now they do have a custom center console built here that houses your air ride controls. Again, we saw that on the underside of the car where it's airbag, so you can adjust it if you need to. So again, that's a nice feature. You've got your power window controls down here in the center console also. A little B&M shifter in here to help you go through the gears on that 700R4 automatic overdrive transmission. Again, I mentioned bench seat up front. It's a split bench, so you can adjust the backs on each one individually, and then it's got the armrest here also right in the center, and I'll try to flip that down. There you go. And they're individual side to side too, so a nice little feature. So you don't have to both have one down, you have each individual ones. Seat belts up front here too. You've got black headliner, very nicely done, all custom stuff in here. Got a nice little billet mirror here for your rear view mirror. Again, all your vents in here for your heat and the AC unit. Everything's done very nice. All new black carpeting in here as well, so you're not going to see any rips or tears or fading whatsoever inside. Again, all nicely done from top to bottom, inside to outside. I don't think you'll have any problems with this car whatsoever. Again, if you have any questions about this car or any other car in our inventory, you can always give us a call or shoot us an email. All of our contact information always made available to you throughout all of our photos and videos, and you can always view us on our website at www.hanksters.com.